Qualifying for the Better Health 400 is getting ready to get going, and then we will be in action later on with the Truck Series. The first car has ventured out to the circuit, JJ Yellowy, and he's done a 32.255. Let's join our commentary team then for this one on the Performance Radio Network.
I don't really know, to be honest with you. We've come here and spun out before qualifying, so I think the trick is to stay out of the shade in 3 and 4. It's still a little bit damp up there, and it can catch you off guard. But other than that, there should be plenty of grip. Should be a lot of wide open throttle time, and see where we stack up.
NASCAR was heating the garages yesterday. Why exactly did they do that?
Well, these engines are all full of water, and if we sit there long enough in below freezing temps, they'll freeze and crack the block. So they have to keep it just a couple degrees in the garage to get us above freezing so we don't have that problem.
How important is track position? Temperatures are going to be colder here in Atlanta compared to last weekend at Daytona. We already saw track position was important at Daytona last week. What does the fuel strategy and tire strategy look like?
It's important here, but, I mean, pit selection is probably more important than your starting position. There's plenty of opportunities to pass and plenty of laps, and if you have a good handling car, you can make your way to the front. But, you know, being a restrictor plate type race, the whole field should be on the lead lap, and pit road will get really busy.
Certainly going to be fun to watch. Back up to you guys.
First car is on the racetrack. That's going to be, I believe, J.J. Yeley.
J.J. Yeley, actually, with NY Racing here. He makes his first lap and sets the time of 171.880 miles per hour. I think we're going to see speeds much faster than that. B.J. McLeod about to take the green flag for his qualifying run, Mark.
He'll be followed by A.J. Allmendinger, Josh Berry, Ross Chastain.
Wide, and then here, you know, it's a stretch to go 3 wide, right? You're door to door, and it's, you know, guys are jumping in out of the gas. You're not in good aero positions where, you know, at Daytona and Talladega, you want to be in the worst, you know, handling aero position is the best for the draft, right? The least amount of air hitting your car. Where here, it's a balance. You have to sometimes get clean air in your nose to, you know, be able to make the corner, stay in your lane, and keep up with the car. So you have to anticipate things a little bit more, and, yeah, you definitely need to have full focus here at all times.
It's pretty narrow. Where's the best place you want to run? And how important is track position, especially as we get set to qualify here?
Yeah, this track is just changing constantly, too. You know, I think in the race, right, you can go to the bottom. It feels like it loads up the car more, but a lot of times you see the draft lane, you know, kind of be in the middle. And, you know, it's just a balance, right? And then it seems like later on into the race, you see guys really starting to work the third lane. So I think it's just going to, you know, keep changing as the track is wearing out. It'll be interesting to see where this track ends up in a few years as far as the pavement wearing out. But yeah, like, it's definitely different on how the lanes load. And like I said, the whole thing is just a massive balance between being in the draft and also keeping, you know, enough grip on your car.
I'll tell you, Brett, that is a lot to focus on here as these drivers get set to qualify.
It is indeed. And I'm here with Austin Dillon, who had a top 10 starting spot here last September when we were here. A little cooler than it was here in September.
Really focus on trying to keep ourselves up in the points here at the beginning of the
super speedway type races. How do you feel coming into this one today?
Yeah, you know, I think we've got a new philosophy that we're here taking, and Atlanta, I haven't had the finish that I really want here yet. You know, I've had some speed at the track, but not really raced well. So hopefully we race a little better this time around, and our American ethanol Chevy, you know, get biofuel on the side of this thing. We got to go out there and have a good run. You know, it was a decent day at Daytona. We really had our, I thought, positioned out well for the end of that race, and it just kind of chaos ensued. But we're really focused on trying to keep ourselves up in the points here at the beginning of the season so we don't get behind.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That's Austin Dillon getting ready to jump in that car and head out for his qualifying lap.
As that race came to a close last week, Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch right there together. You thought, okay, they're going to make something happen. Then they got mixed up in one of those wrecks, and that ruined the day for them as it did for many of the other drivers. Josh Berry now currently the quickest at 178.844. Zane Smith just clocked in at 178.626, so put him at number 2. A.J. Allmendinger third, Ross Chastain fourth, B.J. McLeod fifth. And of the drivers that have qualified so far, J.J. Yeley at number 6 with Kyle Busch in that Cheddar's machine on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, last year, Mark, we saw Fords dominate qualifying in speedway races, but not necessarily dominate victory Victory Lane. It was a Chevy in Victory Lane here last year. Actually, 2 Chevys, part of the closest 3-wide finish in NASCAR history, with Daniel Suarez winning the race and the man who's about to take the checkered flag in his qualifying lap, finishing 3rd, Kyle Busch. Ryan Blaney in his Ford was in the middle of that, and Kyle Busch goes out and qualifies 3rd so far. Remember, the top 10 will advance to round number 2. We just have 7 who have taken a time.
You talked about the Fords, Brad. Last year, both races, 7 out of the top 10 qualifiers were in Fords. Michael McDowell, of course, winning the pole both times here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. On the racetrack now, Shane Van Gisbergen.
Shane Van Gisbergen takes his number 88 Trackhouse Chevrolet right down on the bottom white line here at Atlanta. And I think when we see them racing here tomorrow, Mark, last year's race, they moved up about 2-3 feet off of that bottom line for the racing groove. Qualifying groove is going to be the shortest way around the racetrack. In fact, he kept it pinned down to the white line, even going down the back straightaway.
This looks like a pretty good lap for SVG as he powers down to the start-finish line, takes the checkered flag, completes his qualifying run, and he will be number 5 across the stripe. Coming up next, Ryan Preece along with Carson Hocevar.
Ryan Preece this year in a Ford for RFK Racing. Last week at Daytona International Speedway, had an unfortunate tumble. His car went airborne after driving up the side of another race car and went upside down. Thankfully, Ryan Preece was okay. But Ryan Preece now on his hot lap, his qualifying lap, and this is a driver who can make some big things happen on a track of this style, Mark.
Certainly can. And again, on top currently, Josh Berry, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, A.J. Allmendinger. They are our current top 4 with Ryan Preece on the racetrack. Take a little bit of getting used to him in the 60 car for RFK Racing, but we've got a lot of new names and new numbers to deal with here in all 3 series this season.
Yeah, most definitely. Here comes Ryan Preece. He takes his Kroger Ford to 4th quick in qualifying. 9 drivers have qualified. We have 39 here today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll come back with our next group from Atlanta right after this.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The speed, the thrill, the action. NASCAR takes over Las Vegas March 14th through 16th for the Pennzoil 400 race weekend at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Get ready for non-stop action as NASCAR's biggest stars battle for victory. Whether you're in the stands or camping trackside, feel the adrenaline like never before. Tickets at lvms.com or call 800-644-4444. Are you ready to go all in? This is NASCAR. This is Vegas. This is the Pennzoil 400 March 14th through 16th.
Feel like you're in the driver's seat and never miss a second of the race action with Racing Electronics. Listen in on uncensored audio from every team in the race. See them in the vendor area to purchase yours today or learn more at racingelectronics.com. A couple of Fords at the top of the speed charts with Josh Berry and Zane Smith the fastest. We'll see our first Toyota go out when we come back from Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Here's Christopher Bell.
My Toyota Camry TRD race car isn't cheap to build and prepare. I have a pit crew that maintains and fixes my equipment. I have a spotter high above the track watching my back, talking me through turns and potential dangers on the track. I physically train to handle the stress of driving. And I have software helping my crew chief and engineers make the right strategy calls. And with all this, I never take my eyes off the road, and neither should you. One distraction can change everything in one instant.
Crane in center 20.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, qualifying for the Adventure Health 400 underway. Josh Berry right now on top of the leaderboard. All right, you told me I should have seen you out there. What was it like?
It was pretty calm. Now, everybody on the 21 car, Wood Brothers Racing, Motorcraft, Quick Lane, my crew chief, Miles Stanley, did a great job. Car felt really solid. I feel good about making the second round there. We'll just see how fast we end up. But overall, it was pretty uneventful, which is a good thing.
You were top 5 here in September. How much does confidence play into a qualifying effort here?
Yeah, I enjoy coming here, and obviously everybody at Ford and Wood Brothers, Team Penske, they always have strong cars here. So, yeah, we just want to make sure our car is pretty balanced in the race. You got to have something that you can race, right? It needs to have speed, but it needs to handle pretty well too. So we talked about that some this week and trying to make sure we keep that in mind. But ultimately, if we can start up front, stay up front, execute on pit road, we can have a good day.
Good luck rest of the way.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Andrew Curlin.
And we are here with Chase Briscoe. You won the pole last weekend for the Daytona 500. So here at Atlanta, qualifying. What does it take to hold a pretty wheel around this racetrack?
You need your car to be good. It's a little bit harder here to hold it wide open, but if everything's good, it should still be pretty easy wide open. So, yeah, we'll see what we got in our Bass Pro Shops Toyota. But, yeah, it should be, I don't know. We'll see what Bell runs. Bell was dead last, so I don't know that. I guess he just took the green. Never mind. But, yeah, I would say wherever they run, we'll be pretty close to that. So, yeah, hopefully our car drives good. That's kind of the biggest thing here is just even if you're slow in qualifying, it's okay. You want it to drive good in the race because handling is certainly going to be an issue. So, yeah, hopefully, like I said, our car will drive good today and tomorrow. And, we have the mix.
You guys had a penalty come down on you guys earlier this week. How much does this weekend maybe already feel like you're in a must-win, backs against the wall? Where is your head at going into this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, we have the opportunity to appeal, which is nice for us. To be able to go and kind of state our case, see what they say. But yeah, I mean, if we don't win the appeal, it's certainly we need to probably win a race. But I've been saying kind of all week, we're Joe Gibbs Racing. We need to win races anyways. So yeah, I think for us, the approach doesn't really change this week. We're still showing up to win the race, and all the things that we do to do that don't really change, no matter what the point situation is. So yeah, see if we can do it.
Chase Briscoe, no matter what, he's going for a win this weekend, guys.
And if they lose that appeal mark, they are going to be negative in the point standings. Of course, they can make up for all of that with the win here tomorrow.
Absolutely, but again, in the playoff point situation, you win, you're still -5. It'll be a tough row to hoe for the rest of the season for those guys. Joey Logano has just made his run. He goes to the top of the board. First driver over 179 miles per hour, 179.464 to be exact. Josh Berry currently second, Zane Smith third, and we have begun the bumping process with Kyle Busch fourth, Ryan Preece is fifth, A.J. Allmendinger at number 6, Carson Hocevar 7th, Shane Van Gisbergen 8th, 9th Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain 10th, and now being bumped B.J. McLeod and J.J. Yeley.
Yeah, Joey Logano and William Byron, 2 drivers who have won multiple races on the new surface at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the next-gen car. Of course, Chase Elliott is a winner here at his home track in the next-gen car as well. But now out on the racetrack, let's see what we can do with that number 51. Cody Ware has Arby sponsorship on the car. Rick Ware Racing announced this week Arby sponsorship across multiple series, including NHRA drag racing as well.
So good news for Rick Ware Racing there. Joey Logano, by the way, has won 2 pole positions here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. One of 5 drivers actively on the Cup Series who have been the fastest qualifier here at Atlanta. Michael McDowell has won 2 pole positions, 1 apiece for Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Of course, a lot of those stats when we start talking about the new Atlanta Motor Speedway, really interesting what they've done with this track and how it's evolved over the last 3 years. So Zane Smith with Front Row Motorsports is third right now behind Josh Berry and Joey Logano, 2 more Fords. Here comes another one. It is the number 4 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. Noah Gragson now taking the checkered flag. Let's see if he can put his car up there, and he goes 5th quick behind Kyle Busch, Mark.
So again, the Fords dominating early on in qualifying. Logano, Berry, Smith, Ben Gregson in the 5th spot, and then you, of course, have the Ford of Cody Ware is currently in the 10th position. He has bumped Christopher Bell out of the top 10. And Ross Chastain, by the way, has got to be very unhappy with his lap, 176 and change. That had to be a lap that he had a problem on.
Well, we heard him talking on pit road. It's not necessarily how you qualify. You need a car that will race well. The problem that Ross Chastain had last year was they were qualifying really what felt like in about the 20th spot. It averaged out to about 15.7, but they were not able to really rack up enough stage points to make something happen. Hopefully for them, they can change that. Taking the checkered flag now, Todd Gilliland goes third quick, and Mark, the Aaron's Dream Machine is back. Aaron's rent-to-own back for 7 races now with Front Row Motorsports.
And that lap was pretty dreamy. Third fast for Todd Gilliland, so Logano, Berry, Gilliland are top 3. Cody Ware has been bumped, and now on the bubble, Shane Van Gisbergen.
Another Toyota on the track right now. Bubba Wallace has the blue and teal, or the purple and teal Columbia colors on his car this week. Another Toyota. We'll see what he can do. Obviously, when it comes to speedway racing, Mark, Bubba Wallace is one of those drivers who thrives at running up front. He is not afraid to mix it up in the pack, and it's been a couple of years since he's been to Victory Lane. This could be a turnaround weekend for them.
Had a great Daytona, wins one of the qualifying races, was in great position, I thought, at the end of the race, and again, one of those guys that got caught up in a wreck, as many do at Daytona. They didn't have anything to do how it started, but they were certainly in on the mess when it ended.
Yeah, for sure. New to him crew chief this year in Charles DeNike. And Charles DeNike did a lot in the Craftsman Truck Series last year, and obviously that team has come with a lot of speed. Not necessarily in qualifying, as Bubba was 9th quick. He will likely get bumped out of the top 10, but still, we saw how well that team raced last week, Mark.
Absolutely. SVG now has been bumped on the bubble. Carson Hocevar, one of the Spire Motorsports Chevrolets. On the racetrack now, Brad Keselowski, as he works his way in turns 3 and 4, trying to hug the white and red line that marks the apron here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Here he is now as he zips across the start-finish line. Keselowski 6th quick. Hocevar has been bumped, and Bubba now is on the bubble.
I'm very impressed with Kyle Busch and his Chevrolet, because right now 7 of the top 8 are all Fords. Kyle Busch sitting firmly in 5th spot right now, and he has a teammate out on the racetrack, Mark.
Austin Dillon, the number 3 car, now takes the green flag. He hustles off to turn 1, and now trying again to keep that car hugged down on the bottom of the racetrack as best he can. As Brad mentioned, of course, in qualifying, you want to keep it the shortest distance all the way around the racetrack. Here's Dillon again diving now into turn number 3, trying to again keep that car right there on the line that demarks the racetrack from the apron. And here is Dillon. He completes his run. Will he make the top 10?
He does not. He is 11th, so Bubba Wallace will stay on the bubble right now as his team owner, Denny Hamlin, heads out onto the racetrack. But again, Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, a lot of speed with Richard Childress Racing when it comes to speedway racing. And let's see now what the Yahoo Toyota of Denny Hamlin can do.
Denny Hamlin, number 1 among active drivers in pole positions captured at number 43. And, of course, has 54 Cup wins to go along with that. Here is Hamlin, now again working his way down the backstretch at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Bubba Wallace on the bubble. Just inside the bubble is A.J. Allmendinger. They are nervously waiting to see if they can make the cut. Here's Hamlin now, working out of turn 4.
Right now it looks like he's tracking far behind Bubba Wallace, who sits in 10th right now. Let's see what Denny Hamlin can do. Hamlin, very slow on the racetrack. In fact, among the 18 cars that have gone out, 19 cars, Denny Hamlin, 17th quick. We are halfway through the first round of Cup Series qualifying for the Ambetter 400. When we come back, we'll see Cole Custer, Kyle Larson, Corey LaJoie, and Justin Haley hit the track here at Atlanta.
Joey Logano here for Hunt Brothers Pizza, where you can choose from 10 toppings, all at no extra charge. In a hurry, call ahead to place your order or grab a hunk of pizza on the go. Follow me on the track all season long and visit huntbrotherspizza.com to find your next pizza.
When it comes to maintaining your engine to run at peak performance, trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Z-Max soaks into metal, so it's easy to add to your oil or gas to disperse carbon buildup in your engine, fuel system, and transmission. Protect your vehicle's engine to the max with Z-Max. Check us out at zmax.com or visit us on Facebook and Twitter to find out more about our full line of products. Remember the name ZMAX for your car, big rig, small engines, firearms, and more. That's ZMAX Micro Lubricant.
By downloading the free PRN mobile app, you can listen to all of our live race broadcast anywhere. You'll also have easy access to all of our award-winning studio shows. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app.
When we come back, qualifying continuing for the Ambetter Health 400. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
It's hard to believe in this day and age in the United States of America that children are hungry.
Our time on this planet is short. We have to give back to those in need.
Every child has a chance, no matter what obstacles they may encounter.
Never have we been touched more as a society to help kids the way we are right now.
Speedway Children's Charities raises money through several different avenues. My favorite is the Gala.
It's one of those can't-miss events for everybody who attends, and I've been able to raise and distribute over $60 million.
When you have 50 different organizations receiving grants from Speedway Children's Charities, that's far-reaching. And some people think, well, I don't have much money to give. I say $50 is a lot to give.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission is simple. Help every child we can.
Because all children
deserve joy
and hope
and love. And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, qualifying for the Ambetter Health 400 underway. Joey Logano is sitting atop the leaderboard right now, but it sounds like you really didn't know what you had, so were you a little surprised with your qualifying effort?
Well, nobody knows what they have. There's no practice. So it's a surprise for everybody when they go out there. No, I was just BSing with Austin a little bit about, to see you go out there and you load it on into turn one. And, it's one thing doing that at Daytona and you have a bigger track. But here, the car can be a little edgy at times. And, you just know you're going to hold it to the floor and you'll see what happens when you get there. It's kind of an interesting moment as a race car driver. But Show Penzo Mustang handled fine. It was just fine, handled really good, and obviously had a lot of speed.
You talked when you won here last September how special it was. Growing up, spending a lot of time in the condos here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. How special would back-to-back be?
Oh, obviously, winning anywhere is great, to be honest with you, but it is nice to come here. This was my backyard, it was so much fun to, I lived here in the condo for, 6-7 years, and this was nobody ever here, but 2 weekends a year, so you had this awesome fun park in your backyard that you can do pretty much whatever you wanted to. No one would ever see you, so it was a lot of fun.
We won't tell anybody about that part.
Yeah, you got a kid that likes cars in a big open racetrack with no one there. It's a lot of fun.
I can imagine. All right, that's Joey Logano.
I'm still waiting for Joey to go knocking on the door of his old condo here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. After the race he won here last year, he said, I might just try that one day, take a camera crew, knock on the door, see if they'll let me go in there. So Cole Custer has qualified 12th fastest at this point, 177.374 on the racetrack right now is Kyle Larson, who a year ago won 5 pole positions. That was one less than Michael McDowell, but he had the best average start on the season, 8.8 over 36 races. The man can get it done in qualifying.
Yes, he can, although today he won't because he is going 12th right now out of the cars that have qualified. Still fast. That was our first Hendrick Chevrolet that we've seen out there so far, Mark. And Kyle Larson would love to get a nice speedway win here at Atlanta.
So our current top 10, Joey Logano, Josh Berry, Todd Gilliland, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Noah Gragson, Ryan Preece, A.J. Allmendinger, and still clinging on to that number 10 spot, Bubba Wallace.
And right now, Corey LaJoie is on the racetrack, an unchartered team with Rick Ware Racing running a limited schedule this year in that number 01. Corey LaJoie has been close here at Atlanta before. In fact, racing for the win in a finish that Chase Elliott ultimately went to victory lane, and we'll see what kind of speed that he has as he takes the checkered flag right now. And for Corey LaJoie, he is 19th quick out of the 22 that have gone out so far.
That day at Atlanta, you almost started to believe this could be Corey LaJoie's day. He was certainly in the hunt all the way to the end.
Yeah, now the car Corey LaJoie used to drive, the number 7, which is being crew chief by championship-winning crew chief Rodney Childers. Justin Haley now on his hot lap as we go back down to pit road with Andrew Curlin.
Standing here with Michael McDowell. Hey, you're running double duty today. Why do you want to run a truck?
Well, I mean, I think the obvious reason is I have a good opportunity to go out there and try to win a race. Spire Motorsports has really fast Silverados, so Kyle won here last year in the 7 truck, so looking forward to it. Also, too, it's a lot of fun. I don't have a lot of truck races or a lot of truck experience, so just going out there and kind of learning them. This is my first 1.5 miles in a truck, which is kind of crazy to say after being in the sport, 18 years, but I'm looking forward to having, a good opportunity today in Delaware Life Chevy Silverado.
You swept the polls here last year, so, I mean, you tell me, how do you qualify in the poll here at Atlanta?
Well, I mean, just looking right now at the speeds, with our teammates and where the Chevys stack up, I'm not sure that we'll have a shot at the poll today, but, we know the setup that drives well and races well and feel good about that. And who knows too? Haven't been out there. We might be better off than it looks. But right now, looking at the board, I don't have the warm and fuzzies that we're going to go sit on the pole, but we'll see here in about 5 minutes.
We will see. How important is track position here in Atlanta?
Track position is important everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go, whether it's Martinsville, Richmond, Daytona, Atlanta. Yes, you have opportunities to move forward, but track position matters everywhere.
Thank you, Michael.
Riley Herbst has just qualified. Herbst 16th quickest, and he will not make the top 10 cut on the racetrack now. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. again. Bubba Wallace still in that number 10 spot and on the bubble, but a number of cars have taken a shot at it, have not gotten there yet.
Mark, I can't help but wonder. It's now up to 44 degrees here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The sun is shining brightly on this racetrack, which is warming things up even more. With cooler temperatures, these cars are going to produce a little more horsepower. Now that things are starting to get warm, I wonder how these drivers now, essentially in the second half of the cars that are going out, if they're at a disadvantage or not. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., brand new sponsor on that car this weekend, by the way, for Hayek Motorsports, with Martin's famous potato rolls, does not necessarily have a fast lap. He is 21st out on the grid.
Well, the cooler temperatures help the engines, and it probably still is cool enough to do that. But as you talked about, as it warms up, maybe the track surface not quite as quick for these drivers in the second half. We'll have to wait and see. Let's go back down to Andrew Curlin.
Standing by here with Ryan Blaney. Hey, you were in that photo finish, obviously not on the winning side of it 1 year ago. Is it hard watching the replay?
Honestly, not really. I mean, it's one of those things where we were just, a little short, and I said after that race, I can't be too upset because I've won them by that much before at Speedways, so it was just nice to be a part of the finish. Have a shot at winning that race. And what a cool finish, with all of us 3 wide and not beating and banging on each other, right? Just kind of letting it race out to the finish. So that's something that'll be remembered for a long time, I'm sure. Definitely a highlight of this place. So hopefully we're in the same position again, and just a few more inches forward is all I need, so we'll see.
That's all you need. How do you put yourself in a good position? It's speedway racing, but it's different than Daytona, Talladega.
It is different. And each year when we come here, the track gets a little bit more worn, handling matters more, so it's like, how do you find the balance, right? Where's the best place to qualify well, but also, can you make moves, and can you get to the middle? Can you get to the right rear of somebody? If you're on the bottom, can you keep the nose under you in the 3? So, it seems like every year that just becomes more and more important. So it's like you said, you hope you come here with the right stuff. It's hard to tell just from having 1 lap of qualifying, hopefully 2 laps of qualifying, and then jumping right into the race. So, but we've done a good job of it in the past. I just hope you hit it right again.
Ryan Blaney, he was a few inches away from that famous photo finish 1 year ago. That's all he needs to get the win here at Atlanta, guys.
So Chase Briscoe has clocked in at 15th. Then you have Ty Gibbs. His car just did not sound right when it went by. He is 24th fastest at this particular point. And on the racetrack right now, Georgia's very own Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott, a former winner here on this surface, now tracking just a little bit behind Bubba Wallace. We'll see what happens when the Napa number 9 takes the checkered flag. Chase Elliott, 13th quick, so Bubba Wallace still on the bubble. Want to pay off the Chase Briscoe penalty from this week. NASCAR issued the team a 100-point penalty, a $100,000 fine, and a 4-race suspension for James Small. They are appealing that. James Small is at the racetrack. But, Mark, the issue that NASCAR had for the pole-winning car of the Daytona 500, we should remind that, is that the way the spoiler mounted into the rear deck lid, well, according to the race team, they said, well, these parts from single-source suppliers didn't quite fit, so maybe some of the bolt holes got worn out just a little bit. NASCAR says it doesn't look like that spoiler is fitting the way it should. We're going to levy a huge penalty and a huge fine on them. Have trouble thinking that they're going to have very much luck on the appeal, but we'll have to wait and see.
Again, the way the appeal process is now, it is sort of stacked against the teams going in. So to win an appeal, I think is just about impossible.
Yeah, Ty Dillon just went out on the racetrack. He clocked in a 14th fastest speed, and we have not seen a change in these last few groups. Joey Logano, Josh Berry, Todd Gilliland, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, the top 5, Brad Keselowski, Noah Gragson, Ryan Preece, A.J. Allmendinger, and Bubba Wallace, the top 10. When we come back, last year's winner at Atlanta Motor Speedway will take his qualifying lap. That will be Daniel Suarez as we are qualifying for tomorrow's Am Better Health 400.
Madame Giselle senses something big coming. Is it a career change? Everything looks wet. I'm going to be a swim teacher. There's a roof. A swim teacher who also does roofing. No, the roof of your RV has a leak and it's ruining the furniture. Oh, that's okay. I'm covered by Progressive. But maybe I'm a swim teaching roofer who makes furniture.
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Roof Protection Plus and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Roof Protection Plus available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
Hold on to your horses. The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix returns to Circuit of the Americas February 28th through March 2nd. NASCAR stars face a new action-packed course in a high-octane showdown. Experience live music, fan zone attractions, and more. Plus, camp at the track for ultimate race weekend access. A new road, a new rodeo. The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. Tickets at NASCARDakota.com.
10 more cars left to qualify. Can they knock Bubba Wallace outside of the top 10 to make it to round number 2? We'll find out when we come back from Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hey, race fans, we can't wait to see you right here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for a wicked fast, wicked fun, fall-tastic weekend this September as we host New England's only NASCAR playoffs weekend with lots of fun activities, premium experiences, thrilling racing, and, of course, one of the best NASCAR camping experiences around. Cup, trucks, mods, and it's locked in for this September. Keep an eye on NHMS.com, September 19th through the 21st, New England's big track.
Are you the next big star ready to rock Music City's NASCAR stage? Nashville Superspeedway is launching a search for one incredible local artist or band to headline the 2025 NASCAR Weekend Pre-Race Concert. The top 10 will face off in a fan vote with a final showdown on Broadway in front of celebrity judges. Join the ranks of Music City's best and submit your performance video at NashvilleSuperspeedway.com by March 6th for your chance to be Nashville's next rising star.
Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, standing with Tyler Reddick. Hey, you got that Xfinity Mobile Toyota. They give a point out for giving the fastest lap. So what's the key to laying a fast lap down here at Atlanta?
Well, I think a lot of that happens back at airspeed for us when we go to these speedways. So we kind of have an idea of what we got, seeing Riley Herbst in 35 and Bubba Wallace going to the 23. So just going to try and do everything we can to maximize the lap this car is capable of. And it'd be nice to have something for the 22, but me just not being the cars for us today.
Drivers have already been talking about how much this track has worn down. So I know you haven't laid a lap down yet, but what do you anticipate it to feel like when you get out there?
Yeah, again, having the teammates go ahead of you, it kind of gives you a good idea of what to expect. And I think their cars are driving pretty good. Their Camrys are driving good. So I'm just going to be able to trust my Xfinity Mobile Toyota Camry out here today in this qualifying lap and get a better idea where we're going to start this race tomorrow and what we're going to have for pit stall selection.
Tyler Reddick, the second to last to roll off here in this first round of qualifying.
So Daniel Suarez has just clocked in 20th quickest. He does not make the top 10. And now I believe on the racetrack it's Michael McDowell, who a year ago grabbed his first career pole position in 467 starts, which was a record for a guy capturing his first start. And that broke the old mark of J.D. McDuffie, who went 404 races before he ever captured a pole position.
Well, the philosophy last year with crew chief Travis Peterson when they were at Front Row Motorsports is let's go out there and win a bunch of poles. We'll see now that they're with a Chevrolet what they want to do, and it looks like they might have built a car to race better because Michael McDowell has gone out 17th. And, Mark, if we're going to see someone take the pole, right now the Fords are obviously fastest. We still have Chris Buescher, Austin Cindric, Ryan Blaney to go. But on the track right now, another Toyota, Eric Jones of the famous number 43.
Right now, 7 Fords, 2 Chevys, and a lone Toyota in the top 10, and that lone Toyota is barely holding on to the 10th spot. A lot of drivers have taken a shot at Bubba Wallace, but have yet to break into the top 10.
Last week at Daytona, Legacy Motor Club put 3 cars inside of the top 12. Jimmy Johnson finished 3rd. John Hunter Nemechek was 5th. Eric Jones finished 12th after getting caught up in some trouble, and we'll see what Eric Jones can do right now in his Toyota, and he goes out 21st, and that field is so tight right there, Mark. Say between about 10th and 25th.
31.2 all the way down, you get to 31.292 in the 20th spot. So less than a tenth of a second for all those guys right there.
Here comes Chris Buescher. He's out on the track right now looking to make something big happen. Last year, went to victory lane at Watkins Glen International, beating one of the best in the world when it comes to road racing and doing it by rubbing fenders with Shane Van Gisbergen. And I can promise you, Chris Buescher, like every other driver in the field, wants to win again. This year, I think he wants to win early, Mark, so he can make sure he locks a spot into the postseason.
Boy, did he come close a couple of times last year, especially at Kansas, where he lost by an eyelash to Kyle Larson. That race so close, they originally gave it to Buescher and then to Larson. And let's see, Chris.
He goes up.
And Buescher cracks the top 10. He is 8th quick. That bounces Bubba Wallace. A.J. Allmendinger is now in the bubble as we go back down to Andrew Curlin.
Standing by here with Zane Smith. Currently P4 on the board. You're watching the big screen. What are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, just obviously happy. I think we're going to have a shot here to make the last round. So excited about that with our City of Refuge Ford. I don't know if we're going to get all 3 in the top 10 here. It's going to be really close, but man, at the 500, I watched all the 500 qualifying. I got bumped by the last car to finish 11th. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen here. But just excited for tomorrow. Obviously, FRM just brings some incredibly fast Fords to these style racetracks. So just shout out to them and hopefully be able to execute the day tomorrow.
You're talking about your teammates. How important is it to have a good dancing partner here at Atlanta?
Very important, you know, and I feel like just Fords in general, we work really well together, and we can push well, and so yeah, excited about that. But like I said, I really want to make the second round because Todd and I have a sponsor dinner in Atlanta, and the bet was whoever qualifies better doesn't have to drive, and he just got me, so hopefully I get a little redemption here soon.
How about that? We got a fun little bet going on here with Zane Smith and Todd Gilliland.
Austin Cindric blazing fast. He is currently 2nd quick to teammate Joey Logano. A.J. Allmendinger has been bumped, and right now 9 Fords in a lone Chevrolet in the top 10.
And right now it looks like there will be at least one Chevrolet in the top 10 because of the amount of cars we have left to go. 4 of them. Kyle Busch sitting in 6th right now, so he has locked himself into the next round. Ryan Preece is on the bubble after John Hunter Nemechek just rolled out 18th. So, Mark, we see the number 48 of Alex Bowman, another driver who can be very fast when it comes to speedway racing and has been incredibly consistent when it comes to Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, and it looks like his car is tracking pretty quick right now.
As he works his way down the back straightaway, trying to crack the top 10. Again, Ryan Preece is on the bubble. Also, still to go, 3 more drivers. Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, and the Daytona 500 winner for the 2nd year in a row, William Byron. So here is Alex Bowman working his way down to the line. A good lap, but not good enough to crack the top 10, currently at number 12.
Lost it just a little bit in 3 and 4. And on the track now, we just heard from him, a great-looking body armor Ford Mustang. Ryan Blaney now, the runner-up finisher from last year's Ambetter Health 400 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He dips his car into turns 1 and 2 right there on the bottom red and white line, and he's going to keep it there on the back straightaway.
Currently tracking ahead of Ryan Preece, who's on the bubble in the 10th spot. Blaney, the runner-up, by 0.003 of a second. Kyle Busch, third, by 0.07. You could literally throw a blanket over those guys as they cross the line. And, oh, by the way, there was about 18 cars stacked up behind them when they took the checkered flag.
Team Penske could take the top 4 spots, and they do. And what I mean by that, Wood Brothers is a part of Team Penske. Joey Logano still the quickest. Ryan Blaney moves up to second fast. Then it's Austin Cindric and Josh Berry. Mark, that is great for Saturday. What is that going to mean for Sunday? We'll have to find out. But right now, all 4 cars that come out of the Team Penske shop in Mooresville are the top 4.
They can at least have a plan for the start of the race. I don't know how that'll play out for the rest of it, but at the beginning, at least they can have a plan.
Yeah, and again, we still have 2 rounds of qualifying. The top 10 will advance on to round number 2 right now. Chris Buescher is on the bubble, but on the racetrack, Tyler Reddick with his 2311 Toyota, and we'll see if Tyler Reddick can make some big things happen in that purple and white Toyota.
So here is Reddick out of turn number 4. And he works his way down to the start-finish line. He'll take the checkered flag. Does he crack the top 10? Answer is no. 17th quick for Tyler Reddick. Right now, the fastest Toyota is Bubba Wallace. He is lined up 14th here in this, again, the first of 2 rounds of qualifying for the Ambetter Health 400.
Back-to-back Daytona 500 championships for William Byron, also a 2-time winner on this new surface in the next-gen car at Atlanta Motor Speedway. William Byron now taking his Chevrolet through turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Could he put another bow tie up in the second round of qualifying?
As he works his way down to turn number 3, again, no Toyotas will make the top 10. Will there be 2 Chevrolets? Right now, just the lone Chevy of Kyle Busch inside the top 10. Will Byron make it 2? He crosses the stripe. Answer is no. He is 16th quick.
William Byron with the Liberty University colors going 16th quick here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Drivers who will run for the pole: Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, Todd Gilliland, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Noah Gragson, and Chris Buescher.
Motorsports isn't complicated. It's made up of races where you go as fast as you can, as best as you can, and as sideways as you can. Our team, Toyota Gazoo Racing. Toyota makes some seriously fast cars, and they all have great drivers, ones that win, like win a lot. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, they're all part of a big, happy family of speed demons. Now you're up to speed. You in? Follow the action at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Did you know that Echo Park Automotive has over 95,000 5-star reviews?
95,000? That's no joke.
Yeah, and every car they sell goes through a 190-point inspection to make sure it looks and drives just like new.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And to top it all off, Echo Park doesn't have salespeople. They have experienced guys at their experience centers.
Well, it really sounds like a different way to buy a car.
It is, even in their name. Every car, happy owner. Echo Park Automotive, the official used car dealer of Speedway Motorsports.
In Las Vegas, pedal to the metal is all we know, on or off the racetrack. Whether you're there for NASCAR, live music, incredible restaurants, or world-class entertainment, Vegas is the town that never slows down. With so many ways to play and so much to explore, Las Vegas encourages you to go all out. Head to visitlasvegas.com for more. Second round of qualifying, the run for the pole for the Ambetter Health 400. When we come back from Atlanta Motor Speedway, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hey, it's Charlie and Debbie, along with NASCAR legend Kyle Petty, inviting you to join us for Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown.
Each week, we'll put it in reverse and take a trip down memory lane, looking back at that week's top 20 country songs from years past.
We'll dive into what made those songs and artists move the needle, what pop culture trends made those years unique.
And you'll get to hear me tell stories only I can tell.
So don't miss Kyle Petty's Back Then Again Country Countdown right here each week.
onto your horses. The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix returns to Circuit of the Americas February 28th through March 2nd. NASCAR stars face a new action-packed course in a high-octane showdown. Experience live music, fan zone attractions, and more. Plus, camp at the track for ultimate race weekend access. A new road, a new rodeo. The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. Tickets at NASCARCoda.com.
Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, following up again with Todd Gillen. You're in the second round, and we learned about this bet with Zane Smith. So tell me about it.
Yeah, he kind of got beat. I beat him to the dibs on not driving tonight to dinner. We're going to Aaron's sponsored dinner, which is fun. It's exciting to have them back on board. So that's number one, right? The dinner's going to be fun. But it's a bit of a hike up to where we're eating. So, yeah, I got him last night. Like I said, I called dibs on not driving, and then he came up with this, where whoever qualifies worst has to drive. So it's really, really close between us, and we got ourselves a race here for this second round. But I know these guys are going to do everything they can anyway, and like I said, either way, right, we're going to be in great company, and whoever ends up having to drive, it won't be that big of a deal. But yeah, we're both going to be doing all we can, just push that gas down a little bit harder if that's even possible here.
Do you have bets like this every week?
No, it especially here, right? It doesn't even matter whatsoever. But I was like, it seems fair. It don't matter. So, yeah, just some friendly fun, and we both believe in our teams, and obviously being from the same team, right? Front Row Motorsports brought some really fast forwards here, and a ton of fast forwards in the top 10. So, yeah, we both felt like we were going to qualify okay, and just wasn't real sure, and we ended up right next to each other. So, but no, we definitely don't bet on anything, and yeah, just a little friendly way to decide it.
Well, Brett, I'll tell you, a lot of battles in this top 10, but another one to watch is Todd Gillen and Zane Smith. Let's see who qualifies better.
All right, we got Chris Buescher here, the Roush Fenway Keselowski cars. All of them in the top 11. That feels pretty good. Says something about this organization, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Proud with that, and it's a good start, right? So, see what the second round does for us, but a really solid start for our fast zone Mustang and everybody at RFK. Had a lot of speed last week and didn't get to realize our full potential, so this is a good way for us to start this week. And the cars are, I know it's qualifying, it's easy to be wide open, but car drives are really good too, so I'm really excited about what that means for tomorrow.
How much has this track changed since September?
Hard to tell right now. Single car, single lap. It's doesn't feel any bumpier just by that one, but we get in that top lane, middle, it might change.
Good luck in round two.
Thank you.
That's Chris Buescher. He was ninth in the first round, but he's got a shot at the pole still.
What jumps off the page for me after the first round of qualifying, Toyota not only got shut out of the top 10. Look at Joe Gibbs. Briscoe, 25th. Bell, 32nd. Gibbs, 36th. Hamlin, 37th. So you hope that they have built raceability into those cars and kind of gave up on qualifying. At least that's what you want to believe if you're a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota fan. But nonetheless, they did not qualify very well. The best Toyotas, Bubba Wallace 14th, Tyler Reddick 18th. They belong to 2311 Racing.
Remember last year, Michael McDowell, 6 pole starting spots, all on speedways with the exception of the pole they won at Gateway. Not a single one of those transferred over to the race. And this year, now that Michael McDowell and Travis Peterson are at Spire Motorsports with Chevrolet, you look at where they qualified here. They're going to start 24th in the Ambetter Health 400. Raceability is what it's all about. The pole does not necessarily have a reflection when it comes to speedway racing on who is actually going to be holding up the trophy at the end of it.
It's impressive, though. Ford, at this point, 9 out of 10. And you look at the teams, they're well represented. The big dogs at Ford are all right there.
All of Team Penske plus Wood Brothers, all of Front Row Motorsports, 2 of 3 with RFK, and the lone Chevy of Kyle Busch with Richard Childress Racing. That is going to be your top 10 who will run for the pole here today as we are qualifying for the Ambetter Health 400. I'm more curious about what happens now between Todd Gilliland and Zane Smith. And pretty crazy, people who get paid the big bucks to drive for a living, neither of them want to drive for dinner tonight.
That is kind of an interesting way to look at it, no doubt about it. By the way, coming up later on this afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, it's the Freight 208 for the Craftsman Truck Series, and then, of course, the Bennett Transportation and Logistics 250 at 4:30 Eastern Time. So a lot of racing still to come from Atlanta Motor Speedway today.
Yeah, looking forward to calling today's Truck Series race broadcast with the NASCAR Racing Network and, of course, the Xfinity race here later on this afternoon. I love these doubleheader Saturdays that Atlanta Motor Speedway has been doing for the last several years, Mark. I think this is a great way and a great ticket value to come to really what is one of the most beautiful facilities on the schedule, see the Cup cars, see the Craftsman Truck Series, see the Xfinity Series, all in the same day.
It is absolutely a great one-day ticket, no doubt about that. You get to see NASCAR's Top Series. You get to see 2 races. Doesn't get much better than that. It really doesn't.
It does not. When we come back in the summer to Atlanta Motor Speedway, we're actually going to be kicking off the NASCAR Cup Series Bracket Challenge. We'll talk more about that. When we come back, it will be the Run for the Pole here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
We work hard to keep our cars looking great on the outside, but engine components need our attention too. That's where you can trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant to disperse carbon buildup in your engine and fuel system to keep your car or truck running at its peak. By soaking into the metal of your engine, Z-Max Micro Lubricant improves performance, extends engine life, and reduces emissions. Trust the many customers who've said, "Thanks for saving my engine." Find out more at zmax.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Down south, there's a place where moments are made at 180 miles per hour, where the thrills give you chills that are second to none. And at every turn, anything can and will happen fast. Some say it's just a NASCAR race, but it's Fast Atlanta, America's destination for acceleration, home of full throttle throwdowns, partying into the night, and unbelievable photo finishes. NASCAR returns to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Better Health 400, February 21st through 23rd. Get tickets now at atlantamotorspeedway.com.
Atlanta Motor Speedway is the site of qualifying for the Better Health 400. When we come back, Chris Buescher, Noah Gragson will be the first 2 to go out. From Atlanta, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
We saw a lot of chaos in the closing laps of the race, so just trying to minimize that, make it more about a race than people just using each other up.
I think it's needed. It was needed at all the road courses.
While I don't think it's going to be a home run, I think that it'll be in the right direction.
So many opportunities to either be really good or make mistakes, and they can start adding up on you quick.
For the latest NASCAR news without a restrictor plate, it's PRN's Garage Pass. For the station near you, check us out at goprn.com.
Hi, this is PRN's David Stiles. Join me each week when I head over to JC's Garage to talk NASCAR.
As of right now, if I were to name my top 5, I could tell you Chase Elliott wouldn't be in that top 5 with this next-gen car. He has a lot to prove on the road courses with this next-gen car, but I still don't think there's a real out-front leader. I think Tyler Reddick has been outstanding.
That's JC's Garage, wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Standing by for the final round of qualifying for the pole for tomorrow's Better Health 400 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm here with Paul Wolf, crew chief for Joey Logano. The Penske cars, 1, 2, 3 in the first round, and then the Wood Brothers, which is an affiliate team, number 4. You guys got to feel great about the way things went so far today.
Yeah, obviously it was a good start to qualifying, and I don't know, it's really a big surprise. The Fords have been really strong at the Super Speedway, as we saw in Daytona last week, and it was nice to get to get all the details right, and that's goes back to the guys putting these cars together to shop. When you can see all of our cars up front like that, everyone's doing a good job. They're real consistent, and then it's up to the teams to put the last little touch on them, and you'll see a little bit of speed difference, but hopefully we can keep the Shell Pennzoil Ford on the pole here in the second round, and get us a good pit stall for tomorrow. The way it plays out here, pit road gets tight, and we can keep it clean on pit road. I think we can contend for another win tomorrow.
You talked about how tight pit road gets. How important is that pit selection here at Atlanta?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, there's a handful of openings, right? That's what you hope for. You can at least get an opening so you can kind of get it clean out without someone blocking you. And as we know how important it is to keep that track position, you can lose it in a hurry on pit road. So qualifying, this is where it pays is that pit selection, and looks like we'll if everything goes as planned here, we'll at least get us a good top 5 out of this and get us a nice pit selection.
Well, good luck the rest of the day today, and good luck. Hope you have great raceability tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
That's Paul Wolf, crew chief for the defending series champion, Joey Logano.
You know, last year after Alex Bowman got disqualified on the Roval and Joey Logano went from the outside looking in to in the playoff, I thought, don't let Paul Wolf have a second bite at the apple. He will make you pay, and they did.
Yes, they did. They went to victory lane in the first race of the round of 8 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, locked him into the championship round, and, of course, they won the championship. Chris Buescher is out on the track for the second round of qualifying. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Yep, sure. We'll send these on the checkered flag here. Go ahead and crank your 4.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. The car you just heard taking the green flag for his second round of qualifying, Chris Buescher, in the number 17 for RFK. Chris Buescher was the 10th fastest in the first round of qualifying, and obviously RFK has very fast cars. Brad Keselowski a little faster than him. Noah Gragson will start, Ryan Preece, rather, is going to start 11th. And, Mark, what do we see coming out of turn 4?
So Chris Buescher, who has one career pole position, will cross the start-finish line. And Buescher's speed, 178.264 miles per hour. He'll be the car to shoot at now, as Noah Gragson will be the second car to come out onto the racetrack. And again, 9 Fords against a lone Chevrolet made the final 10. As we are continuing now, second round qualifying for the Ambetter Health 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Chris Buescher in the first round, 178.407, so is 178.264 a little bit slower. The question is the car just slightly slower by 0.2, or is the track slowing down? Again, just about 20 minutes ago, or about 30 minutes ago, it was 44 degrees, now up to 48 degrees, as the sun is shining, not a cloud in the sky over Atlanta Motor Speedway. Here comes Noah Gragson. He takes the green flag in his front row Motorsports number 4, dips it down into turn number 1, trying to win a pole here with his new team at front row.
So Noah Gragson now powers out of turn number 2, hustles down the backstretch here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And again, the temperature's rising. They, of course, have a couple of laps on the tires, so we'll have to see how that all plays out as well. Gragson now works his way out of turn number 4, trying to unseat Chris Buescher from the number 1 spot.
Checkered flag now for Noah Gragson. He goes second quick. He is slower in round number 2 than he was in round number 1. 178.806 or 0.086 miles per hour, rather. A 31.131 second lap around the racetrack. Another RFK car now. Brad Keselowski is heading out there. Keselowski last year, Mark, finally made that first trip to victory lane for the team that he is now the co-owner of in RFK Racing. Great to see the run that they've had. 3 years ago, they went from 21st and 24th in the standings with Chris Buescher and Brad. 2 years ago, they went to 7th and 8th in the standings. Last year, Brad won a race, made the playoffs, and had a great season. And now this, a 3-car organization.
There's no doubt he has breathed new life into that whole organization there. He came in and has certainly got the job done. Had a great run going at Daytona, and you started to think maybe he's going to finally win his first 500, and again, got caught up in one of the big ones.
Yeah, for sure. So Brad Keselowski right now appearing to be tracking just a little better than his teammate Chris Buescher. Keselowski was 8th quick in the first round. Now dips his car down into turn number 3, literally hugging that line right there where the 28 degrees of banking goes down to the apron of the racetrack. Brad Keselowski low off of turn number 4. Mark, what does it look like for the number 6?
As he crosses the line, he is going to be 0.002 of a second slower than teammate Chris Buescher. Keselowski, number 2 on the board. Only 3 of the 10 have made their run so far. It's Buescher, Keselowski, and Gragson.
The only Chevrolet in the top 10 running for the pole is out on the track right now. Last year, he finished by 7 1/1000ths of a second behind ultimate race-winning driver Daniel Suarez, and Kyle Busch was 3rd in that photo finish that we saw 3 wide coming to the checkered flag in last year's Ambetter Health 400. Kyle was one of the early qualifiers here today, and I think that's important. The track surface much cooler when he went out there and made his first lap, but now he's bringing that number 8 Cheddar's Chevrolet across, and he is under the green flag.
Now working his way down to turn number 1. Foot to the floor. Can he hold the bottom of the racetrack? Busch can do that. He looks good now in turns 1 and 2. It looks like he's tracking just ahead of Chris Buescher. Again, can he hold it down on the bottom of the racetrack in turn 3? Here's Busch working his way there now.
All right, the Cheddar Scratch Kitchen Chevrolet of Kyle Busch now coming off of turn number 4. He's looking for a big day here today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. An upset over the Blue Oval, which has dominated the top 10. Kyle Busch will go to the top. 178.626 miles per hour.
Very tight at the top of the standings. That was 37 thousandths of a second quicker than Chris Buescher. So very tight between Busch, Buescher, and Keselowski at the top of this thing. So Kyle Busch will now have everybody shooting at him. The drivers still left to go. Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, Todd Gilliland, and Zane Smith.
Zane Smith out on the track right now. He and Todd Gilliland have a sponsored dinner tonight. We'll see who actually has to drive the slower of the two. Mark, I'm thinking Kyle Busch with the run that he saw. We might need to head out to Cheddar Scratch Kitchen and grab that Kyle Busch special and get ourselves some nice chicken tenders and french fries.
That would not be a bad idea. After a day like today, as long as it's going to be a final dinner there at Cheddar's would be great.
I love that. Zane Smith now with a new team. Last year he was with Spire Motorsports as a driver for Trackhouse. This year he is back at home. Front Row Motorsports is the place where he won a championship in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Now Zane Smith is out there driving this number 38 car. Obviously has a very fast one as Front Row Motorsports has put all 3 of their cars in the top 10. Here we go, Mark. Let's see how well he does.
Zane Smith comes across the stripe. His qualifying lap is over. Does not catch Kyle Busch. He is second quick at 178.436 miles per hour. And again, still very, very tight at the top, but Busch currently holding on to that number 1 spot. Zane Smith, hopefully he's more comfortable in this deal that he has this year with Front Row Motorsports, but came close last year, runner-up at Nashville. Came close to getting that first Cup Series victory.
Yeah, they finished very well, too. If you go back and look at the 10 races that ended 2024, Zane Smith, who is still with his same crew chief, actually, that was probably the best part of their season. Now it looks like they might be carrying some of that momentum. Now here's a question that's going to be answered in about 2 miles from now. Todd Gilliland coming off of turn number 4. Can he best his teammate Zane Smith and make Zane drive to dinner? Or will Todd Gilliland be going to meet the folks at Aaron's driving?
So the reason apparently this is a bet is because you have to be dropped off apparently at the front of this dinner, and the parking lot is a distance away. So it comes down to, I guess, laziness. I guess is what this bet is.
And just think, Mark, they have sit-down jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, come on, guys. Here he is, Todd Gilliland. Can he beat Kyle Busch? More importantly, can he beat Zane Smith? We're about to find out.
Here we go. Oh, he beats them both. Todd Gilliland now takes his car up to the top. It looks like Zane Smith's driving to dinner. Right now, Kyle Busch second quick. And the cars that we have remaining, all built out of the same Team Penske shop in Mooresville, North Carolina. Our first one of those heading out to the racetrack, Wood Brothers Racing. New to the team this year is Josh Berry.
Josh Berry followed by Cindric, Blaney, and Logano. Here he is working that iconic number 21 up to speed. And he's had an interesting start to the year for the Wood Brothers. He rammed and jammed his way into the feature race at Bowman Gray Stadium. They loved that, and he really did have a strong run at Daytona. Again, one of many guys who got caught up in wrecks.
I think Josh Berry is a great fit for this Wood Brothers number 21. He is under green right now out on the racetrack making his time lap, not only in his demeanor, but also to integrate with the Team Penske drivers that he's teammates with Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, and Austin Cindric. Mark, this seems like a perfect fit, and last year, Harrison Burton got the 100th win for Wood Brothers Racing. You can bet Josh Berry wants to start another century of wins.
He wants his picture on the board at the Wood Brothers Original Shop in Stewart, Virginia. That is a wall of fame right there for sure. Some of the very best there ever has been in NASCAR have won races for the Wood Brothers. And Josh Berry goes to the top, 179.139 miles per hour. So it's Berry, Gilliland, Busch, Zane Smith, Buescher, Keselowski, and Gregson, with Cindric, Blaney, and Logano still to go.
3/10 faster than he was in round number 1. So if we thought this track might slow down, Mark, well, I can tell you Josh Berry has not slowed down. He actually has gone faster. And the big question now, can Austin Cindric do the same? This is a great battle with cars that literally left the same race shop when they drove down here to Atlanta from Mooresville, North Carolina.
You talk about going for bragging rights as far as qualifying is concerned. These guys have gotten serious about it all, as they have all had a serious chance to grab the pole position. So Cindric now trying to knock off Berry. He's in 1.
Last week, Austin Cindric running right at the front, heading down the back straightaway at Daytona, side by side with Denny Hamlin. Hamlin very complimentary to Austin Cindric on his podcast, saying that he felt very comfortable racing with him. Of course, the wreck started behind them, took out both Austin Cindric and Denny Hamlin. Cindric able to finish 8th in the Daytona 500, but this is his style of racing. Here comes Austin Cindric off turn number 4. Mark, we'll let you call him to the checkered.
As he crosses the line, he goes to the top at 179.359. That pushes Berry to the outside of row number 1. So, again, they were top 4 in round 1. Can they do it in the final round? We're about to find out with Blaney and Logano still to go.
We know for a fact a Team Penske car now will start on the front row. Austin Cindric on the provisional pole. His 2 teammates going out next. Ryan Blaney is the driver on the racetrack right now. One of the pivotal wins in his career came in the old Atlanta Motor Speedway configuration, Mark, in 2021. Kyle Larson dominated that race. I mean, literally dominated. In the closing laps, Ryan Blaney just wore him down, caught him, made the pass with 8 laps to go. For Blaney, a pivotal win for him in that he literally put together what was then all 500 miles of a race and drove into victory lane. And again, Ryan Blaney fast here on the new Atlanta as well.
A lot of folks were giving Kyle Larson the trophy, and Blaney just kept steady digging all day long, especially in the late going, and was able to track him down. He is now trying to track down his teammate Austin Cindric. This for the pole position in the Ambetter Health 400. Blaney now comes zooming out of turn number 4. He flashes across the stripe. Will he go to number 1?
Body Armor, the sponsor on the car, and it is tough. Ryan Blaney now on the provisional pole, 179.371 miles per hour. Blaney guaranteed a front row starting spot for the Ambetter Health 400. The question now, Mark, will it be on the inside or the outside that he takes the green flag?
Well, so far they've been able to continue to one-up each other, right? Berry gets the pole. Cindric goes, fine, I'll take it away. Blaney goes out, fine. I'll take it away from Cindric. Now can Logano take it away from Blaney?
Yeah, now does the champ say, watch this. Joey Logano now heading right off the top of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4 as he builds momentum to head to the green flag to get on his time lap. The Shell Pennzoil number 22 at Team Penske. Here comes our reigning champion, Joey Logano, looking to put his car on the pole here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Fastest in the first round. Can he be the quickest in round 2? The final car to go for the pole position in the Ambetter Health 400. Logano midway down the backstretch certainly has his foot in the floorboard as he hustles off to turn 3.
He's going to have to make it up in turns 3 and 4 if he can do it. Joey Logano right down there at the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to drift his car up, not even a lane off the bottom as he comes off at turn number 4. Checkered flag in the air for Logano. What does he do, Mark?
Logano will not get the pole. He is 4th fast. Ryan Blaney has taken the top spot in qualifying for the Ambetter Health 400. He beats his teammate Austin Cindric by 0.02 of a second.
Wow, and Joey Logano, he was the fastest in round number 1, 4th fastest in round number 2. Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, Joey Logano will make up the first 2 rows. Mark, if they're going to have any sort of team strategy here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, well, they're going to start the race by being able to control the field. Those 4 cars built out of the same race shop are going to occupy the first 2 rows of the Ambetter Health 400.
Less than 1/10 of a second separates all 4 of those guys. Wow. I mean, that is pretty tight there at the top.
Yeah, that is very tight. Todd Gilliland will start 5th, followed by Kyle Busch. The lone Chevrolet in the top 10. He'll roll off 6th. Zane Smith, Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, and Noah Gragson will round out our top 10 starters. We're going to hear from our pole-winning driver, Ryan Blaney, who's getting big congratulations on pit road right now. And deservedly so, Mark. That was one amazing lap. And I'll tell you what, the way Joey Logano was coming off of turn number 4, I think he had the lowest arc off of turn 4 I thought as much as he was shortening up the racetrack, he might have a shot at it. Kind of surprised to see him fourth out of those drivers coming out of the Penske shop.
Again, though, they're all very, very fast and certainly all have a chance to win this thing when they drop the green flag tomorrow afternoon. No doubt about that. And, again, Ryan Blaney continues to just get it done. I mean, he's a guy that certainly is one of the favorites to win this thing tomorrow. No doubt about it.
And we'll hear from him momentarily. Coming up 45 minutes from now at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, we will be back on the air with the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR, for today's Freight 208. Make sure you tune in for that. And then at 4:30 Eastern Time, more Performance Racing Network coverage of today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Let's go down to pit road with Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, well, we are here with the pole sitter, Ryan Blaney, who is talking to his team. 11th career pole, all smiles. What's the emotion?
Just cool to get a pole here, and speaks volumes to everybody who puts effort into bringing fast cars. All of our we're top four with the Wood Brothers car in there, and really cool effort. So that's just a big joint communication between everybody, and I hope they race good as well. So. But yeah, cool day, and props to the 12 group, and looking forward to starting from the pole tomorrow.
You were talking about the other teams qualifying well. What kind of statement is this for Team Penske?
Well, I think we've done a great job of just refining all the details of these plate tracks and this rules package, and I feel like we don't just sell out for speed either. I feel like our cars drive pretty good. Hopefully that stays the same tomorrow. But yeah, it's just a lot of fine-tuning here and there to find the little bits of speed that you need, and that's cool when it all comes together. So it's all the 12 boys and all of Team Penske and Wood Brothers, really. So that's cool to get all four of them top four. That's a cool accomplishment.
Finally, there's a bunch of blue ovals up front. How important is it to have friends here at Atlanta?
Well, that's important. I feel like our group does a great job of finding each other and trying to work well. And it's a combination of having fast race cars and teams that can find each other and work well together and understand. The drivers understand each other. So I think we work really hard on that to try to do it the best we can. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, but I feel like we have an okay handling on it. Hopefully we can continue that.
Well, Ryan Blaney starting on the pole for the race tomorrow. Guys, you could tell it was an exciting one. There were a lot of high fives, a lot of hugs for Ryan Blaney and that 12 team.
While a fascinating qualifying has put Ryan Blaney on pole position, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry and Joey Logano, your top four, Todd Gilliland, Kyle Busch, Zane Smith, Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, Noah Gragson, your top 10. We're going to be back earlier than planned. We've got live coverage of the Truck Series coming up. Round 1 from Daytona will be available to watch later on this evening as well. And we will also have tonight Xfinity with myself and Matthew Owens, the team from the Performance Racing Network will take you through the Truck Series race later on in about an hour and 10 minutes. Join us then for all the action. But from us, thank you for joining us. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.